Okay, first principles. This is a bit of a nasty first principles, if I'm honest, but that's okay. So our first principles say that I'm looking at the limit as h tends towards 0 of f of x plus h subtract f of x all over h. So that's what I'm looking at. And here my f of x is 4 on x squared. So what I'm looking at is ln, our limit as h tends to 0 of 4 on x plus h squared. Subtract, that is literally just my f of x plus h. I've just substituted, instead of writing x, I've written x plus h. Subtract the original function, which is just this. So 4 on x squared. That's all over h. So this is one of the questions where I've got to multiply through by the denominators of both fractions to try and simplify it. So I'm going to multiply by x plus h squared, x plus h squared, x squared, so the denominator of both fractions, and I'm going to have to do that on the top and the bottom, so that I'm just still multiplying by 1, and I haven't changed the function. So now look what happens. Limit as h tends to 0. When I multiply this by this part of it and this part of it will cancel, and I'll just end up with 4 times x squared. And when I multiply this by this x squared and this x squared will cancel, and I'll just be left with 4 times x plus h squared. And that will all be over h multiplied by x plus h squared, x squared. Okay, so now I've just got to simplify this term. Remember, my goal is to try and have a factor on the top of h so that I can cancel both top and bottom. So the limit as h tends to 0 of 4x squared. I'm going to have to expand this, and I'll just do that in 2 steps. So I'm going to end up with x squared plus 2xh plus h squared all over. The paper's going crazy. H x plus h squared x squared. Okay, now if I look at this, I could rewrite that again, but I'm going to be lazy, and I'm going to go 4x squared take 4x squared, so that will cancel with this. And I'm going to be left with the remaining bits, aren't I? So I'm going to end up with limit h tends to 0 of negative 4 times this, negative 8 x h, negative 4 times positive h squared is negative 4h squared, all over hx plus h squared x squared. Okay, now I can see that both terms here have a factor of h in it. So I can rewrite this I'm running out of room, so I will take a factor of h out, and I'm left with 8x take 4h x plus h squared x, and my paper's running away, x squared. Okay, so now that I've got this, I'm in the position where I've got a factor of h, and remember, a factor means that I've got, one item or one term multiplied by something else. So if I had this before and I didn't have a h term here, a lot of you tend to get carried away and excited and just go for the cancel off the h. Okay, you've got to have a h in all of the terms, which is why I've written like this in factored form. So now I can cancel off the h, and now I'm in a good position because I don't have h on the bottom. As my limit of h tends to 0 happens, this is fine, it's legitimate, because I'm not ending up with a denominator of undefined nature. So this means that I can go straight to my final answer of 8x on top. As h tends towards 0, this will disappear. That'll go. This will also disappear, and I'll end up with x squared. So it will be over x squared times x squared, which is x to the power of 4. You could leave it like that, but that'd be a bit lazy, because I'm going to cancel off one of my x's, so I'm going to be left with 8 over, the paper's got a mind of its own, x to the power of 3. There we go. And of course, I would want to go back and check up here, because I do have a feeling like I've made a mistake, and I'm pretty sure I have. So let's just check. If I look at this, I could rewrite this as 4x to the negative 2, which then would be negative 2 times 4, so it'd be negative 8x to the power of negative 3. Okay, which is basically what I've got, except I'm missing the negative sign. So it was worth checking, because even though I'm close, when I was here, I had a negative and a negative. I should have actually taken out, well, in fact, I missed this negative sign here. I took a factor of h out, but I missed that negative sign. So that should have been negative x, 8x, negative 8 on x cubed. And I'm done.